was just like doing his workout or something during the last call, so he kept the screen up.
Actually, I was eating.
That's why I had mine off for a while. I was like, oh.
I had mine and the sign on the 15 minutes before. I was like, Susan, I'm sorry, I'm gonna eat this. And then I was saying I just slammed another bowl of soup. So
Hey Jerry, can we have a piece of what you're eating?
I'm not gonna stop. Sorry, meeting. I'm just gonna keep eating. I've got one of those days that started at like 5 this morning, and there hasn't been time for food, so I'm still
Katie?
going. But
Yes.
Did you unmute all these? I can't unmute them.
Let's see here. Unmute Ray.
Just make sure they're unmute. They can unmute. And I can't change Joel's name.
No problem.
I can't do anything.
We
On
need,
AOLO, can you change that to Joe Young, please?
It's Bolo Joe.
Yeah.
Bolo Joe. Yeah, you can.
YOLO.
I'm the Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5.
You're waiting, John.
No, John's. Oh no, he's not.
On TV is supposed to be on TV though.
On TV is going to stay unmuted.
Yeah.
Because they have 2 meetings tonight, so they can't converse with us. We have to do it by email, by text.
I do have pizza coming, so if you guys see me exit the stage, stage right,
You have curbside service?
that's a pizza bite happening. So I'm just telling you.
the question is, what kind of pizza?
I don't know. They just said they were getting pizza, and I went like this because it was while we were in the other meeting. But
Looking at Ray, you kind of go blind. He's got those shiny glasses on, and then the sunshine behind him.
I closed my drapes.
We lost John somewhere.
That's better.
Hey, John.
Just gonna give it another minute or two, and then we're gonna start.
You know what you did, Sue? You made me the host and then gave up your host privileges. So
Oh, I was doing it so fast. Okay.
yeah, but now you're good. We're both hosts now.
Thank you.
Password and all that way. You don't want to.
Oh, let me.
She's going to re-invite.
I'll re-invite him.
Right, John.
I hope that
She's gonna
works.
send you a new email.
Are the voters allowed to go out yet, or does that have to wait till May 1st?
No,
They're
maybe.
allowed. They're allowed as of the executive order 2020-49. Garden shop can open back up.
and you can visit your second home or cottage.
That's good.
Not recommended, but you can.
They're not going to stop you.
I just thought on your boat, as long as it's just like you on your boat going somewhere,
but
you're
that was the
definitely
problem.
6 feet away. Right. Yeah.
Can you call him, Joe?
Okay, I'll call him again.
Well, I don't know if he got the invite. It's in his Lake Orion US one.
We're gonna give it one more minute, and then we'll just have to roll. It's 7:34.
Okay, John. Any luck? Oh. Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay. All right. Sorry. He's gonna keep trying.
Okay.
So we go ahead and get started.
Okay. I'd like to call this meeting of the Lake Orion Village Council to order. Roll call, please.
President Van Portfleet,
Here.
President Pro Tem Matheson,
Here.
Councilmember Hammond,
Here.
Councilmember Hobbs,
Yeah.
Councilmember Narsch,
Here.
Councilmember Randall, Councilmember Rutt.
Here.
We have a quorum.
And Mr. Randall is making attempts to join us.
Yeah.
And I was certain he will here soon. So thank you. We have no presentations this evening. Do we have anybody that, from the public, that would like to address the council on non-agenda item? Any call-ins, any chats?
I have no public comments.
Thank you. Close the call to the public. Move on to item 5, the consent agenda. We have 5 items this evening. Number 1 is the CDBG County Cooperative Agreement from 2018-2020. West Niles Virus Reimbursement Solution. Item 3, approval of the Village Council special meeting minutes for April 15th. Item 4, Downtown Development Authority regular meeting minutes for March 10th. And item 5, DDA Executive Director's Report for March 2020.
Move to approve.
Support.
Mr. Young, you had your hand up, sir.
Yeah, item 1 should read 2021 to 2023.
I wondered. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. We have a motion and support. Did you get the members that?
Yes.
Okay, great. Roll call, please.
Narsch. Rutt,
Yes.
Van Portfleet,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Matheson,
Yes.
Hobbs,
Yes.
6-0, motion carries.
Thank you. Well, I'd accept a motion for approval of the agenda as presented.
So moved. Matheson.
Support.
Supported by Mr. Narsch. You need a roll call on that one?
Yep. Rutt,
Yes.
Van Portfleet,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Hobbs,
Yes.
Narsch,
Yes.
Matheson,
Yes.
motion carries 6-0.
Thank you very much. Public hearings, we have none. Item 8, agenda items for consideration, financial matters, invoice, regular, register, and bill approval. Mr. Young.
Yes, Council, before you have the bills that were paid on April 14th, an amount of $11,041.14, and an invoice registered dated April 22nd, an amount of $101,548.71. Do you have any questions on any of the items? The big item in there was the quarterly payment for the Water Resource Commission of $74,975.
So I have one little one. On
Sure.
packet page 44, there's that Clark mosquito control.
Yes.
And I know that we got some money, like a split on that to pay for it, but
Oh, right.
just out of curiosity, I don't recall that in the past. Is this a new thing or have I just been missing it?
No, it's every year. We only get the $442 from the county, and regardless of what the cost is, they only
Right.
participate to that fixed dollar amount.
So they take a bunch of pellets and dump them down the sewer drains? Is that it or what?
Storm sewer, yeah,
Really?
standing water,
So, okay,
various areas. And it's for the West Nile virus, as you know.
thank you. Any other questions? Anybody got any comment? Okay, entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion, Matheson, to approve the bills paid April 14th, 2020 in the amount of $11,041.14 and the April 22nd invoice register report in the amount of $101,548.71.
Our support.
Support.
Supported by Councilmember Narsch. Roll call, please.
Hammond,
Yes.
Hobbs,
Yes.
Rutt,
Yes.
Van Portfleet,
Yes.
Narsch,
Yes.
Matheson,
Yes.
motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. On to item 2, budget financial report. Mr. Young.
Yes, Council, before you, we have the March financial report, the budget report for the various funds. 3/4 of the year is completed. And then along with that, we have the balance sheet of March 31st. And then there are the various assets and cash values and amounts in the various funds are shown. And there's nothing in particular at this time. We're dealing with the budget discussions that are scheduled for later on this month and adoption up in May. And subject to what the numbers are going to be as a result of the COVID crisis, that we've adjusted for those in our projection for this year and for next. However, those are estimates that we are not certain of at this time, including our state shared revenues, of our sales tax, our gasoline and weight tax money, and of course our water and sewer revenues. So we'll be monitoring that and hoping that what we budgeted for this year projection and next year is going to be sufficient and not require any further adjustments. But we'll have to wait and see till we get back to normal or back open again. So,
Mr. Young, in one of the webinars, the virtual meetings that we attended, there was a statement made that the consideration of state revenue sharing will be cut in half. You remember that?
I heard it today again.
Yeah. So we're looking at that as being, that's already built into this new budget we're looking at.
I put in at 25% for this year and 25% for the next, if overlaps 2 fiscal years. See, the state's on a different fiscal year than we are.
Mm-hmm.
So I reduced this year by 25 and next year by 25.
So 25 on top of the 25, so next year 50?
It's total, yes, for the same period of time.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Entertain a motion.
Matheson, I move to receive and file the March 2020 budget and financial report.
Rutt, second.
Roll call, please.
Hobbs,
Yes.
Narsch,
Yes.
Rutt,
Yes.
Van Portfleet,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Matheson.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. Moving on to B, other items. Number 1, water main replacement, next phase proposed. Mr. Young.
Yes, council, this is a carryover from the last council meeting, at which time we directed to have the fire hydrants tested along Orion Road. And our Assistant Fire Chief John Pender did go out that very next day and actually test them. And we did get the results calculation today. He measured that the pounds per square inch, the PSI was less than 5, or 5 was the maximum, which our system itself is set to be at 60 pounds per square inch. And that's one criteria. The other criteria is the flow, how many gallons per minute, GPM. And the residential standard is 1,000 gallons per minute. And that only is achieved at 30 PSI for a 2.5-inch size opening, which our system is at 4 inches. So there's no way at this time, based on those samples that he tested, that we could make the requirement for the fire department of 1,000 gallons per minute. So that is a problem. We are going to go back out and check a couple other hydrants. This was done by the fire department, and we're questioning that low of a flow. They must take forever to fill a washing machine at 3 to 5 pounds per square inch. That's going to be a very slow trickle going into all those business. If all of them turn their water on at the same time, I don't think they'd be getting much of anything. So we're questioning if that is correct information. So we're going to verify that. But that was identified in the study that Hubble, Roth, and Clark said this was the area that we do need to upgrade. So it's, my recommendation that we go ahead and get the design component of this underway, which is about $42,000, so that we could then be what I'll call shelf ready. So if we do find other funding sources or pricing that would come in favorable, that we could consider it further. But before we can get to that point, we do need to have the design ready, have a shelf ready to go to bid. And meanwhile, we can look for grants or other funding as along the way. We do have one possibility. Our current contractor, Fontana Construction, has indicated that they'd be willing to maintain their current pricing and consider bidding this job out, which the preliminary number would save close to $100,000 from what the engineers estimated. Because as you recall, Fontana, although they came in over the engineer's estimate, they were significantly lower than the next bidder. So there is that other possibility, but I would recommend that we go ahead and get the design work in place for this next phase, and then in the meantime, seek other financing opportunities.
Yes, Mr. Hammond, sir.
Yes, I believe, based on our correspondence today, we're waiting for some numbers to come back. My question for Joe is there any history of complaints from residents in that area about water pressure, or any history we have with failure to deliver water in the quantity and quality that the neighborhood expects?
I have not, and not aware of any. John, I don't know if you've ever heard of any. Oh, John's not on yet. No, we're not aware of any. That's why we were going to have our DPW go out and check a couple other hydrants.
All I can think of is that the fire department might have been trying to tell you that it was 3 to 5 pounds less than optimal, maybe. So it was maybe 25 to 27 instead of 30. But 3 to 5 makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I agree.
So, you're looking into that, and I appreciate that. But I guess the only thing I would add is, I know you want to get this shelf ready for $42,000. I'm reluctant to spend any money right now, any money. So
I understand.
that's my comment. Thank you.
Mr. Narsh.
Yeah, those numbers are like ridiculous low.
Right.
And I'm wondering, HRC had mentioned, Eddie was on here and he mentioned that they may do some testing. I don't know if there's a cost figure on that or if we can get a reduced cost, but I mean, based on those numbers, that's ridiculous low. I just can't imagine that that's where it's at. And I don't know if the project had any impact on that, but I'd really like to get another set of numbers on that, because I can't imagine that it was in that condition previous to what we're doing, because that's never been an area, to Ray Hammond's point, that's never been an area where you've had concerns. And so I'd like to see an additional set of testing, whether it's from HRC, but obviously those pressures are kind of a concern. And as we look at moving forward, because public safety obviously is number one. So
My comments are that I was looking for alternative. There is a 12-inch township main that's right by that 4-inch. But we have an obligation to service the apartment complex and village residents. So Joe and I felt that we have no options there to be creative. We would lose our village customers as well if we were to look to try to service off that 12-inch. But just saying that was there. And I have expressed to Joe that I think that we should look at possibly another engineering firm. I don't want to drag this out, but in this last phase 1 and phase 2, I don't have the exact numbers, but Joe had given me up to $90,000 in engineering additional costs, and we're still debating that. It might be lower due to the primary factor is not having good plans of where the lines are. I'm upset with that, and I'm not so sure I want to continue with that type of level of professionalism. I'm really disappointed. And so I'm just saying, this is a nice clean stretch. We save some money too by looking at an alternative provider for those engineering services.
Right. I mean, I certainly can go out and solicit proposals for design for that next phase, but we should wait for additional information first. But the additional $90,000 is because the inspections are on a daily basis, and because the contractor's having the plans not correct, spent a lot of time looking and redoing things, trying to locate things, which he was not getting paid for. He gets paid for the units that he installs in the ground. He doesn't get paid for an hourly rate, time and material. He gets a per unit price. So if he has a gate valve, it's $5,000 that's all he gets, no matter whether it took him 1 day or 3 days. That's all he's got to work with now. He's filed some change orders that we're looking at that is still be evaluated, but the contract is under for Fontana, the quantities and the bid items he's below the contract, whereas Alberoth and Clark are above their contract because they had to spend more days out on the job, which is where the $92,000.
And did they submit change orders, Mr. Young?
No, they did not submit anything. They did not notify us. They just went on continuing without saying, hey, by the way, we're going to need to amend our contract.
So what would you like from us this evening, Mr. Young?
Well, I guess I'd rather wait and confirm the water pressure and then depend upon that, check any updates, because I did want to confirm with Fontana about their pricing also, to see what impact that could have as an option, depending on, again, the water pressure and flow test. How critical is that we continue with this?
Mr. Nairsh?
Joe, Ken, do we need a motion to ask HRC or get a second water pressure and flow tester? And is that something that council would like to have?
Well, we could do that ourselves. It's just our DPW going out there and doing it, correct, Mr. Young?
Yes, yes.
And so we don't need to have the engineering firm involved in that. They had offered to assist us, but that's just additional money.
Right.
And so we can get our own report and findings on that matter. I think what.
In the meantime, I can ask HR, depending on what the results are, see what HRC would charge us.
Yeah.
And get back to you.
Yeah. And probably what would be the most appropriate is just to receive and file at this time. Would that be accurate, Mr. Young?
Correct. Correct. Or set it aside to the next meeting.
Pending additional information. Mr. Hobbs?
Yeah, up in section 3, are those hydrants going to be tested too?
We are going to do that once we get the other phase completed, yes.
Okay. So,
There's one thing I guess, if I could bring up about heights, well, I'll wait till the manager comments. Go ahead. We'll just address this issue. Go ahead.
Mr. Matheson, sir.
Yeah, Matheson, I'd like to move to table this to the next meeting pending results of further testing.
Support.
Support by Mr. Hammond. Roll call, please.
Hobbs,
yes.
Narsch,
Yes.
Rutt,
Yes.
Van Portfleet,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Matheson.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. Moving on, council comments. Mr. Matheson, sir.
I've got nothing else other than again thanking the all the essentials and first responders, police, fire, for everything that they're doing right now. That's all for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Hobbs.
No, just stay safe. We're doing good so far.
Good. Thank you very much. Mr. Narch.
Just everybody, please complete your census and let's get counted because that's money back for our community. And so please do that. There's not spyware involved with that. Nobody's going to watch you and check up on you. It's been going on since the 1700s. So we need your help. And again, thank you to our first responders, our doctors, our nurses, everybody that's on the front leading edge of this. And really, honestly, everybody in our business community that's had to buckle down and close shop, the employees that have been laid off, and the people in the community, they're staying inside their houses because they are, and they're doing everything they can to flatten the curve and hold the line. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Rutt.
Nothing today.
Mr. Hammond, sir.
Nothing today. Thank you.
Thank you. For me, I'd like to echo the census and keep in mind all you need to do is tell us tell them how many people in the household. That's it. That's the only really, really important piece of information that we need. So don't feel as if you're giving away information that you don't want to submit, because you don't need to do that. A reminder that there's quite a push out in the community for Takeout Tuesday. You'll see cars lined up at the restaurants getting takeout on Tuesday, right around 5 o'clock. It's great. It's really a great thing to see. So Takeout Tuesday, keep that in mind. Joe, I'm wondering about, because we're getting into the budget more, and I just want to mention, we still have Salt Barn that we're thinking about for DPW.
Mhm.
We're
Yes,
still looking for bridges for Meats Park.
yes.
Got that mural possibly coming up as well. We're not talking about that. There's our lift stations. There's a lot of things going on. We've got a lot of work to do. I know that everybody here is ready and willing, and we're going to do a fine job with it. But the new normal is going to be interesting once we see what it is. That's it for me. How about you, Mr. Young?
Just a couple of things. One is regarding the water main project on Heights Road. As you know, we're going through and reconnecting the services temporarily and then back up. And so far, they've only found one galvanized line. And I'm going to get a price from Fontana on replacing that, because while we've got the road minimal traffic, might be a good time to consider replacing any galvanized lines, because we're going to ultimately have to replace those. So I just wanted to mention that to you. The other thing was, the previous meeting, we were supposed to go over our goals and objectives, and we ran out of time. So I was hoping we could still meet with that special meeting next Tuesday, May 5th at 5 or 6, if that's still a possibility. We can follow up and get back to you, because remember now, May 11th, the next regular meeting, we have to adopt a budget and, most importantly, set the tax rate. Which, by the way, I don't know if you saw the latest edition of the review, but this is it. It's a 11 by 17 sheet that they published, quote, but didn't circulate except by posting it physically on Village Hall and a few other places. So apparently they didn't have anything except our 5 public notices and did not circulate. So we're having to publish those notices in the Oakland Press in order to meet the state requirements for our truth and taxation and public hearing requirements. So we just learned that they weren't. I was looking all weekend for the paper, and I wonder where it was at. Well, that was it. So we're going to be having it published in the Oakland Press to comply with the state law as advised by our attorney. So with that, if we could consider that May 5th meeting at 5 or 6, whichever one you'd prefer, to talk about goals and objectives, and then budget issues, because we really haven't gotten into things such as the lifeguard situation. Right now, the parks aren't open, but if they do open, do we want to have lifeguards or only have them on the weekends? Some things of that nature we need to speak to or have, discussion on what we want to do once we get open again. So
you're
that's all I have for now.
You're looking to have one meeting April 5th before the April 11th?
May
acceptance?
5th. May.
Okay, 2 budget meetings
least-
coming up.
Yeah. I mean, if you'd like to have one later this week, that would be great too, but whatever you're comfortable with. I mean, we can always amend the budget. Every meeting we can amend the budget. It's, again, the setting the tax rate, which I think we've agreed to at this point. We'll just keep what we have. So we got plenty of time beyond that. Okay.
Is that it, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Matheson so moves.
Support.
Supported by Mr. Hammond. Roll call, please. Do we need roll call?
Or you can do a voice vote.
Voice.
Voice.
Yes.
All those in favor, please indicate with aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone. Stay healthy.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night.